One thing I've always wondered is how they got that macaw to do that on cue. Apparently macaws aren't exactly known for taking direction. Yet, here he is, flying past at exactly the right moment and perfectly timed to the soundtrack. Anyway, welcome back to another misadventure of George Stobbart, patent lawyer. GM, the crowd gathers because today only everybody gets a mummy for free.
This must be the place. Professor Oubier's house.
Looks pretty creepy. I'd been away from Paris and hadn't seen Nico for nearly 6 months. I wanted to celebrate our reunion, but she had other plans. An appointment with an archaeologist.
I'm back now.
Something to do with a Mayan stone she came across while researching a story. The guy who answered the door didn't look much like an archaeologist to me. I had a bad feeling about this.
One of the great mysteries of the Broken Sword series is why George keeps following Nico into danger. Every time he does, somebody tries to kill him. This time he's tied to a chair in a burning room while a giant spider closes in for the kill. On the bright side, that's still a better start to a vacation than some of George's previous trips.
I glanced over the books, vaguely hoping to find a copy of How to Deal with Poisonous Spiders While Tied to a Chair. No such luck. But I noticed one corner of the bookcase was supported by a loose block of wood. Maybe I'd been a little heavy-handed, but it was a question of survival. Of course, I was still tied to a chair in a burning house with no means of escape.
George defeats the spider using a technique known in scientific circles as dropping a bookcase on it.
With one mighty bound, our hero was free. Now, I had to deal with that fire.
The fire can wait. Emergency drawer inspection.
Inside, I found a bottle of tequila. Normally, I didn't drink strong spirits, but today was far from normal. Ew. Disgusting. Not only did the tequila burn like hell, I just managed to stop myself from swallowing the worm. There was something short, fleshy, and gross on the carpet.
That's never stopped him before.
It was the worm from the bottle of tequila. In the drawer was a small decorated pot.
George pockets the pot and moves on to the next suspicious object.
That dart was sharper than a mosquito's business end, but this didn't deter me from getting it anyway.
There's more.
It was a stylish little canvas number containing a lipstick, a handwritten note, and a pair of nylon panties with a large love heart emblazoned across the front. It occurred to me that Nico's tastes must have really changed while I was away. Well, they could be useful. I guess I had no business reading the note, but I figured it might give me a clue to what Nico was involved in. It was from Andre Labanau, the history student Nico had known at college. The letter was sentimental mush, and revealed that the exotic lingerie, as he called it, was a gift from him. It gave his telephone number. Labanau figured himself as a rival for Nico's affections, but I couldn't believe that that creep was in the running. The pot contained a key.
Between the fire, the smoke, and the giant spider, you'd think George had seen the worst this room had to offer. You'd be wrong.
As I released the lock, something blew the doors open.
George solves the problem with science, engineering, and somebody else's underwear.
The panties I'd found in Nico's bag were just what I needed to wrap around the hot cylinder.
George starts combining random objects from around the room. To the untrained eye, this looks ridiculous. To an adventure game veteran, we're making excellent progress.
The cylinder gave out a faint hiss as the valve opened. Huh? Now I had one primed up and ready to use extinguisher. With a well-aimed squirt of the soda fountain, our unshakable hero saved the day. Now it was time to start looking for Nico.
With the fire extinguished,
I wasn't going to burn myself on that red-hot doorknob, and it wasn't the time for subtlety.
George channels his inner Chuck Norris and introduces the door to the concept of violence. Years and years of legal training has clearly prepared him for this moment.
I'd found a piece of newspaper folded in two. It referred to a forthcoming eclipse of the sun. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be visible from Europe. The best place to view the eclipse would be Mexico. It was the newspaper clipping referring to the imminent eclipse. Wrapped inside it was another small piece of paper. It was a bank statement for Ubier's account from an automatic telling machine. The last 5 withdrawals were for large amounts, and all made in Marseille. Much as I disliked him, Labanau might be my only hope of finding Nico. Hi, Andre?
Who is this?
It's George Stobbart, Nico's boyfriend.
Don't you mean ex-boyfriend?
Look, I didn't call you just to pick a fight. I need to talk to you about Nico.
Can't you accept she's just not interested in you?
Listen, Andre, we need to talk. Nico's life depends on it.
Okay. You remember the cafe at Montfauçon?
Sure, Andre. You better show, you creep. I felt an irrational urge to wipe my ear.
Andre casually drops the word ex-boyfriend into the conversation, just in case George was having a good day. The pair agree to continue the discussion at Montfauçon Café.
I unlocked the door. I wasn't looking forward to meeting Labanau again, but he was my only link with Nico.
Thankfully, the juggler appears to have the day off.
There was no sign of Labanau when I got to the cafe. I decided to order a coffee and wait for him.
Some things change, some things don't. Nico is missing, George is in trouble, and the gendarme is still spending an impressive amount of time at this cafe.
Oh, garçon? He ignored me. I'm sure it was deliberate.
George calls for the waiter, who responds with the speed and enthusiasm you'd expect from somebody being paid not to care.
Hey, you. Well, I'd like a cup of coffee if you don't mind.
When I finish serving this gentleman.
Having secured a verbal commitment from the waiter, George settles in to wait. Whether coffee arrives before the next apocalypse remains to be seen.
Un café.
Thanks. That's all.
Thank you.
The coffee arrives and a familiar snake appears.
Well, this is a surprise, Georgie.
George says something everybody already knows.
I wouldn't normally call you. But Nico's in trouble, Andre. Deep trouble. You have to help me find her.
What? What have you dragged her into this time?
It was you that recommended Professor Oubier as an expert on Mayan art. Now his butler's kidnapped her, and he tried to kill me.
Every time she gets involved with you, there is trouble. Walking out on her was the best thing you could do.
My father was dying, damn it. I had no choice.
Well, she soon recovered once she went back to her old friends.
Drop it, Andre. Right now, Nico's in danger, and we have to work together.
So, how can I help?
Nico needed to speak to Oubier about a stone.
Oh, you mean this stone?
So that's what all the trouble's about.
Precisely. Nicole told me to guard it with my life.
Well, it's worth more than that, surely.
Oh, very funny.
What's funny is that your life really is on the line.
What are you talking about?
The stone is a Mayan artifact, dummy, and the guy who kidnapped Nico was from Central America. It was the stone they were after.
Oh my god, you mean I could be in danger too?
What can you tell me about this pot?
South or Central American, I'd say. I have a friend who'd be able to tell you more.
Where can I find this guy?
He owns a gallery on the left bank, the Glease Gallery.
See you later.
Goodbye, Georgie.
I've had enough of your games, Kala. Tell me what you've done with my stone.
I thought your business was simply smuggling cocaine, Karzak. Why are you so interested in that stone?
Either you tell me what I want to know, or Pablo here will make you talk.
Okay. Well, I figured someone at the university would be able to help. So I had a word with one of my girlfriends, and she told me her boyfriend was a lecturer. I sent the stone to the Department of Ethnology. You know, I figured it was South American, so... You're not buying this, are you?
That's enough! I don't have time to listen to your mindless prattle. We'll leave you to think it over. Come the morning, you'll be ready to talk.
Pardon me, but don't I know you?
Huh?
You were here the day I found the catacombs.
I was? Ah, yes. I remember you.
Yeah. Are you still in the police force?
No, not anymore. I'm a man of leisure. What brings you back to Paris?
My girlfriend.
What it is to be young and in love. Will you share a bottle of wine with me?
Hey, listen, I'd love to, but I need to keep a clear head.
So my company isn't good enough for you.
Why did you leave the police?
I was forced to retire. The golden handshake. Only in my case, it was more copper than gold.
How come?
I was made a scapegoat to cover up the department's inefficiencies.
Do you miss being a gendarme?
Yes, of course I do. When I wore that uniform, I commanded respect. Not anymore.
I grabbed the flask and was struck by a powerful smell of absinthe, a highly potent and illegal alcoholic drink. Now I had another lead. I could either go back to Oubier's house or visit the Glease Gallery. The Glease Gallery had style and class, but very few customers.
Never one to miss a bragging opportunity, George takes his priceless sport over for inspection.
Are you Mr. Glease, the owner?
Good God, no.
Then I guess that must be him over there, right?
Your powers of deductive reasoning astound me.
Would you give me your opinion on this pot, sir?
Yes. Very rapouche.
Rapouche?
Hideous.
What the hell do you think you're doing? I wasn't gonna waste any more breath talking to that pompous blimp. Maybe I could turn the situation to my advantage, and at the same time, get my revenge.
In most countries, this would be frowned upon. In adventure games, it's called puzzle solving.
I splashed a little absinthe into the glass and hoped he wouldn't notice the change of color.
Did you put something in my drink?
Yeah, I did. What do you think?
Well, it's certainly an improvement over Glease's wine. In fact, I could grow to like it.
Most people would be furious. This man wants a refill.
Allow me.
No, no, no!
Concerned for his customers' well-being, Glease rushes to help. George, meanwhile, sees this as a rare career opportunity in trespassing.
There was nothing in the case but styrofoam packing, but pasted on the side was the remains of a label. Underneath the logo of a flying bird were the words Condor Transglobal Mars. The rest of the label was missing.
The Condor Transglobal label is exactly the kind of clue George has been looking for. Armed with new information and his usual lack of subtlety, he heads back to question Glease.
Were those pots very valuable?
The pots are insured, but not the shelving. You've no idea how much that cost me. I hope to God Oublier has plenty more of these pots at the docks. If not, I'm ruined.
It was beginning to make sense. Oublier had organized Nico's abduction. Oublier withdrew money from Marseille. Oublier was connected with Transglobal, who shipped their goods from a warehouse in Marseille. That's how the torn Transglobal label had once read. Marseille, not Mars. It wasn't much of a lead, but it was all I had. I set off immediately to catch the evening train. It was almost dawn when I arrived in Marseille. I traced Condor Transglobal to a desolate dockside.
One shipping label later, and George finds himself at the docks. The mystery is growing, and so is the likelihood of him getting punched.
What's the big idea?
I don't know. The dog went berserk for no apparent reason.
He's trained to do that. The idea is to deter any would-be intruder.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just remember, he's a trained attack dog. A killer.
The man heads inside, leaving George to take a closer look around. I swear this guy looks like a close family member of Flap. Either that, or villainy just comes with a standard face in Paris.
Hi, good morning.
Do you know what time it is?
No, I don't wear a watch. As my dad used to say, I'm not into time, man.
Well, you're too early.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's been several minutes since George last injured himself.
Ouch! That's hot.
George heads down to collect the boat hook. He doesn't know what it's for. I don't know what it's for. But experience tells us we'll need it eventually.
The stick had a hook on one end. I figured it was a boat hook. For hooking boats.
Should this actually work, George will undoubtedly claim he planned it all along.
I just knew that boat hook would useful for something. As for the bottle, even if I couldn't find a use for it, I cleaned up the dock a little.
George peeks inside to find Flap's distant cousin hard at work. Not on security, mind you, on a bowl of soup.
Excuse me? Huh? Who's there?
Having confirmed that the dock worker is completely distracted by his lunch, George turns his attention back to the warehouse. Somewhere between the boduk, the bottle, and the hot chimney cap, a plan is beginning to form. Whether it's a good plan remains to be seen. But George has never let that stop him before.
The bottle was half filled with water. Maybe it would cool the cone down enough to touch it.
George puts years of patent law training to work.
Now I could see into the pipe which formed the chimney.
Adventure game engineering at its finest.
The bottle had blocked the chimney, and the hut was filling up with smoke.
With the dock worker successfully smoked out of his office, George heads back down to investigate. The plan has worked perfectly, which is unfortunate news for anyone hoping to keep their belongings. Finding the hut empty, George immediately begins helping himself to anything that isn't nailed down. At this point, George has stopped asking why he needs these things.
The packet was full of dog biscuits. Someone had once told me a piece of coal brought you luck. Who was I to argue with irrational superstition?
With cookies in one pocket and coal in the other, George returns to the attack dog problem. Fortunately, he now possesses one of the most powerful tools known to mankind: free food.
Here, boy, have a nice crunchy biscuit.
No goats were hurt during the making of this video.
I felt a slight twinge of conscience as I prepared to give the dog a dunking. It soon passed. As I'd expected, the dog could swim like a dog.
With the attack dog thoroughly soaked and no longer interested in guarding anything, George finally has a clear path forward. Looking back, the animal's day has taken a dramatic turn. 1 minute it's protecting a warehouse, the next it's swimming unexpectedly and wondering where all the cookies went. At this point, even the soundtrack is telling George to reconsider. George, however, remains committed to making poor decisions. George heads for the nearest door, hoping for an easy way in.
A sturdy chain and padlock hung around the door handles.
The direct approach has failed. Time for a slightly less direct approach.
The din must have drowned out the sound of my knocking.
After a few unanswered knocks, George comes to the conclusion that either nobody is home,
Maybe there was a way in up there.
or nobody is interested in talking to him. Since giving up isn't really his style, he starts looking for another way inside. George decides a little unauthorized window inspection is the logical next step. Having gathered all the available information, George arrives at the traditional adventure game solution. Let's break something.
That did the trick. The fan clunked and shorted out as its blades were mashed by the boat.
break your arms.
That bully needed to be taught a lesson.
Garzak's already mad because we didn't get the stone. You give me any trouble, I'll tell him it was all your fault.
Karzak? That must be his boss.
Having successfully introduced the air conditioner to the boat hook, George heads back to the door. With the racket finally gone, somebody inside might actually hear him knocking for a change.
Who is it? Pizza delivery? I didn't order pizza.
No? This is the Condor Transglobal Shipping Company, isn't it?
I don't like pizza.
Oh, come on. Everyone likes pizza. Maybe he was allergic to mozzarella. Hey,
what now?
look. This pizza's been paid for. You might as well take it.
I told you, I don't like pizza.
Not even with extra olives?
I hate them. Olives are the devil's butt nuggets.
If you know what's good for you, you'll open this door.
What if I don't?
I'll kick your head in.
Okay, I'll come out, you creep.
George decides that threatening a dude twice his size is the best way forward. The next few seconds will demonstrate why patent law was a better career choice. Maybe we need to try something different next time. The last time George threatened to kick this man's head in, it did not end well for George.
If you know what's good for you, you'll open this door.
What if I don't?
I'll kick your head in.
Okay, I'll come out, you creep.
The man promised he'd be right out. The feeling of deja vu started manifesting, and George responded by climbing a ladder and getting out of sight as fast as possible. George's first barrel created a distraction. Tong! The second created a swimming lesson. With the guard now taking an unexpected dip in the harbor, George celebrates another victory for reckless improvisation. With any luck, the guy will bump into the attack dog from earlier and they can compare notes. George can now get into the warehouse at last. Considering how much trouble it took to get here, he'd better find something more useful than a boat hook. Most people would start by looking for Nico. George starts by checking the desk drawer. Different investigators have different methods.
The only interesting thing I found was a small brass key.
George's search finally pays off with a useful key. He congratulates himself, then moves on.
Whoa! Don't shoot! The little guy had a blowpipe. That confirmed my suspicions about what had happened to Nico. I waited for him to shoot me, but it didn't happen. Instead, he seemed to want to tell me something. What? What do you want? He seemed excited, almost desperate. What did he want so bad? Hi. I'm not going to hurt you.
Quaramonte.
Was that your name? Quaramonte?
Quaramonte.
His vocabulary seemed a little restricted. What does this key unlock?
Huh?
Faced with a chained up prisoner, George gets straight to the important stuff. What does this key unlock?
Hey, you're manacled. Who did this? That big thug? I'm gonna set you free, okay?
Satisfied that the key has a practical use, George finally turns his attention to the man attached to it.
Hey, come back here!
George sets the prisoner free. Moments later, he's searching the warehouse, wondering where his good deed went.
The little guy had gone to ground amongst the stack of crates.
The little man may have vanished, but George still has a lead. Like most adventure game heroes, George responds by pressing buttons and hoping for the best. Ping pong.
Just in time. Interrupting the beam of light kept the doors from closing and stopped anyone from using the elevator. But what now?
Someone wanted to come down the elevator. George was not ready to meet them.
There. That would keep the doors from closing.
The warehouse suddenly becomes a lot more interesting. A series of scratch marks leads away across the floor, suggesting somebody moved something heavy through here in a hurry.
There was an arc-shaped scratch on the floor, as if a door had been opened in the nearby wall. My fingers traced the outline of a secret door in the wall. Then I found a small round stud, which was set flush to the surrounding wooden paneling. Just as I'd hoped, a secret room. Nico!
After finally finding Nico, George wastes no time freeing her hands. The tape over her mouth, however, remains in place for a few extra seconds. George claims it's for safety. Nobody believes him.
There. How you feeling?
Oh, thanks, Georges. How on earth did you find me?
I knew Oubier had been in Marseille. But never mind about me. How about you tell me exactly what's going on, starting with that Mayan stone?
I picked it up from one of Carzak's men in Paris. I was expecting a consignment of narcotics.
Drugs?
Yes. The proof I needed to expose Carzak's smuggling operation. I'd set it up to act as his courier, and once I had the proof, I planned to go straight to Inspector Mou. But instead of the dope I'd expected, they sent me that stone instead. And to find out more, I called Professor Oubier, who invited me to his mansion. At least, I thought it was Oubier.
I don't get it. If Carzak's business is drugs, why is he so desperate to get his hands on that stone?
Maybe it has some significance to the local people in Central America. It could be Carzak's means of getting them to work for him. Anyway, we've got to get out of here.
Nico, wait!
Nico's rescue is complete. George celebrates by stealing a statue and some masking tape.
I decided to keep the masking tape. It was bound to be of some use to me. We can't use the elevator. If that thug Pablo's recovered, he'll be waiting for us.
We've got to do something. Where does that door lead to?
I'm not sure.
George's solution to the elevator problem is surprisingly sophisticated. After everything that's happened today, it's oddly reassuring to see a puzzle solved without anybody ending up in the harbor.
Hopefully, the tape would prevent those doors from closing and stop the Indian from being able to call the elevator.
With the elevator taken care of, George turns his attention to the giant statue. As usual, the solution involves moving a suspicious number of heavy objects. Unfortunately, George has no construction experience whatsoever.
About 6 inches off the floor, and I said a silent prayer to whoever had discovered the power of hydraulics.
What on earth are you doing?
Trying to raise the statue so I can hook it to that pulley.
Is that really going to help us?
I like to keep myself occupied in times of stress.
George claims he likes to keep busy in times of stress. Judging by the number of death traps he survived, he's had plenty of opportunities to practice.
The statue looked way too heavy for me to move.
With the statue finally loose, George attempts to do the rest manually. Optimism remains one of his defining characteristics.
It was too heavy for me to move on my own.
George quickly discovers the statue isn't impressed by his efforts. Reluctantly, he turns to Nico for assistance.
Could you give me a hand to push this statue?
What for?
This, my dear, is our passport to freedom.
If you say so, dear.
Together, George and Nico succeed where George alone had failed, a result that surprises nobody.
Okay, push! Great teamwork.
Nice to be working with you again, Mr. Stobbart.
One obstacle down, another appears immediately. Luckily, there's a cable and George has some manacles and just enough confidence to think this will work.
Nico, I have a great idea.
The Marseilles chapter closes as George and Nico return to familiar ground.
George, where have you been?
Never mind that. Do you have the Mayan stone?
Maybe I have, but,
Don't argue, Andre. Give the stone to George.
well, of course. If you say so, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Andre.
George, he told me you'd been kidnapped, my dear. I'm glad to see he was mistaken.
Oh, but it was true. If it hadn't been for George, I wouldn't be here now.
That's not finished yet. Karzak's thugs will be back for that stone, you can bet. That little guy kept saying Quaramonte. Perhaps the name is significant.
Quaramonte is in Central America. That's where Ubier gets his artifacts.
That's all we needed to know. Come on, George.
The mystery refuses to stay in Paris for long.
Quaramonte, the traveler's rear entrance to Central America. Well, that's how it was translated in the brochure. We didn't know what we were looking for, but the offices of Condor Transglobal seemed a good place to start.
After surviving kidnappers, warehouses, and George's planning, the pair finally arrives in Quaramonte. As usual, Nico handles the navigation, while George supervises.
Hey, it's market day. I don't see any cabs. Let's ask someone how to get to Quaramonte City.
Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for any sign of Condor Transglobal.
Feeding Cult to the goat won't help solve the mystery, save Nico, or advance the plot in any way. It will, however, make the goat talk, which feels far more important. Somebody at Revolution Software clearly had too much free time.
What was that? It's a lump of lucky coal. Coal? I would have preferred chocolate. Any flavor, so long as it hasn't got marzipan in it. God, I hate marzipan. You can talk. I mean, you're a talking goat. Keep your voice down. This is between you and me, right? Well, I guess so. Now, I mean it. You tell anyone you've spoken to me, and you'll be cursed.
George honors his promise not to tell anyone about the talking goat, which is probably for the best, because nobody would have believed him anyway.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces? Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Quaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Who would have thought musicians could be helpful?
George Stobbart,
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged. Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Catch you later, Pearl. Hey, Nico!
For once, George decides to involve the police before breaking into anything.
I have done just as I have been instructed, Professor. With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe your excavation. Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
As George watches, a familiar-looking man exits the office. He can't quite place him, yet he seems important.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, senor. Welcome to Quaramonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobbart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Disgusting.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Graciento, at your service.
I hear there was an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, senor. Quaramonte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Renaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour, when he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
No. No, I never heard of him.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Oubier, a visitor, senor, like yourselves.
Did you say Oubier?
Si, senor. Professor Oubier, a French archaeologist.
Take a look at this label.
Si, senor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, senor. I never heard of them, and neither did Renaldo.
Are you sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here in Quaramonte City.
You are mistaken, senorita.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, senor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor, whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Quaramonte?
Of course, senorita. Unfortunately, all the records were destroyed by a flash flood.
Graciente seems surprisingly helpful. That's usually a warning sign.
Senor. Leave the child alone.
The chart in Graciento's office raises more questions than it answers. Rather than dwell on it, George decides to follow up on the mysterious visitor who left moments earlier. There is no obvious reason to suspect the man knows anything useful, which in George's experience usually means he knows everything.
Professor Oubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobbart. George Stobbart.
I thought that face was familiar. Remember me, George? Dwayne Henderson.
Hi, Dwayne. Just a moment. I have a few questions to ask the professor here. Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
This is the stone my girlfriend called you about. The stone that nearly cost Nico her life.
I assure you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazak, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here, to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
With another lead to investigate, George and Nico head for the mining building. So far, they've uncovered a talking goat, a suspicious chart, and a mysterious stranger. Somehow, what they face inside feels like the most dangerous thing they've encountered so far.
Hey, Nico!
Inside the mining office, George finally meets his match. With luck, she might know something. With George asking the questions, luck may be required.
Hola, señora.
Hi. We were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, Chico.
Dum dum da.
Hi, my name is Nicole Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Quaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobbart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Do you know Professor Oubier?
Yes. I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the general. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the general be interested in an archaeologist?
It takes George less than a minute to start opening restricted cupboards.
Keep out of there. That's where the explosives are stored.
The conversation with Conchita doesn't clear up much, but the chart from Graciento's office continues to bother George. Back outside, Nico and George compares notes. Between the mine, the chart, and the increasingly suspicious people they've met, the pieces are beginning to form a picture. Unfortunately, it's not a very reassuring one.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes, it looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the general didn't want us to see it.
Outside, Nico points out that the chart looked more like a map than a collection of records. With a new theory to investigate, George heads across town to talk to Dwayne Henderson. Last time they met, George sold him a statue in Syria. It would be surprising if Dwayne is still willing to talk to him.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Why did you bring a huge truck like that?
George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Quaramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, He's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
Do you have any kind of detonating device in stock?
Sure. They're kept in that cupboard.
I don't suppose you have one spare?
I can't simply give you a device like that, no without a damn good reason.
The General has a chart in his office, which he was discussing with Ubier.
Perhaps that chart will tell us where they're heading.
Maybe, but I can't get anywhere near it while the General and his sidekick are there.
Dwayne explains that Miguel's freedom depends on a detonator that was supposed to arrive with Pearl's supplies, but she forgot to pack them. Rather than question why Uncle Sam's latest operation hinges on a Quaramonte local, George heads back to Conchita in search of a detonator.
Could you distract the General while I took a look at that chart?
You're kidding. Did you see the way he was leering at me?
Yeah, you'd make a great snake charmer. Come on, 5 minutes is all I need.
Well, maybe. But it's your harebrained scheme. You do the talking.
My girlfriend has a favor she wants to ask you, General.
For you, my dear. Anything.
Blah.
I've changed my mind.
Oh, no, you haven't. She's embarrassed about asking you for an interview, General.
An interview with me? Fabuloso!
Well, I want to write a story about you.
You hear that, Renaldo? An exclusive glossy spread about your beloved General.
Si, Signor General.
Look after things here. I'm going back to my apartment and I don't want to be disturbed.
I'll get you for this, George Stobbart.
Don't worry. If you're gone for more than a couple of hours, I'll come and get you.
A couple of hours?
While Nico reluctantly keeps Graciento busy, George still has one problem left to solve: Renaldo.
Hi, I'm George Stobbart.
Hello, Signor. How can I help you?
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, Signor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you take my friend to the ruins now the General's gone?
I'd be honored, Signor.
Thanks. I'll go get her.
With Renaldo finally convinced, George heads off to find Pearl and put the plan into motion.
I've made the arrangements for your visit to the temple, Pearl.
Oh, that's just great, George. Why don't you come too, honey?
I'd love to, but right now I have to save the world.
When Pearl invites George to join them, he explained that he's currently busy saving the world. Whether that's confidence or delusion remains open to debate.
Listen, sweetie. I'm looking for an official guide to take me to the old pyramid.
For a lovely lady, I would go to the ends of the earth. For you, I will go as far as the pyramid and back. But what about your husband?
What he doesn't know won't hurt him. Let's go, Beanpole.
With Pearl and Renaldo out of the way, George gets back to business.
As Pearl and Renaldo set out for the ruined pyramid, I prepared to search the police station.
George wastes no time taking another look at the chart.
It looked like a geological survey map showing the land to the southeast of Quaramonte City. About 60 miles inland and upstream was an area marked Teoculcan.
whatever George saw on the chart had to be enough to change Conchita's mind.
I got a good look at that chart in the police station. It's a map of Quaramonte.
Does it tell us where Ubier is heading?
Yeah, a place called Teoculcan.
That's the site of the mine. I wonder why they're being so secretive about Ubier's plans. One thing's for sure. If the general's involved, they're up to no good. I'd like to talk to that musician Miguel. Take the detonator and get him out of that jail.
With the chart deciphered and Conchita finally convinced, George is able to get his hands on the detonator. Naturally, obtaining it was only half the challenge. The other half involves carrying a detonator across town without dropping it, losing it, or accidentally blowing something up. Fortunately, this is George Stobbart we are talking about. Against all odds, he makes it back to Dwayne's truck with the detonator intact and his eyebrows still attached.
Here is the detonator, Dwayne.
Keep your voice down, George. You want everyone to know. You'd best go and warn Miguel that the U.S. cavalry's on the way.
Okay.
With the detonator delivered, George's part in the rescue plan is finally complete, at least for the moment. Rather than sit back and enjoy a rare victory, he heads straight for the police station. Miguel has been at the center of this mystery for far too long, and George is eager to hear his side of the story. Besides, after everything he's gone through to get here, turning around now would feel like a waste of several thousand miles.
Hey, Miguel.
What is it? What is happening?
We're getting out of here.
Who's we? They've sent the Delta Force?
Nope.
The Impossible Missions Force?
Don't make me sick. Much better.
Who then?
A retired greetings card salesman from Ohio.
I'm doomed.
You're not the only one.
I should have known you'd be trouble the moment I saw you.
Look, I can explain everything.
Get in that cell, now.
And what if I refuse?
He'll shoot you.
Okay, here I am, going quietly into the cell.
Even George's luck can run out.
Very wise, not Americano scum.
One of the reasons I hate guns so much is the way they make people so damned impolite.
I hope you're enjoying your vacation, Senor Stobbart.
Go polish your weapon, Renaldo.
The rescue mission will have to wait. George has just become the newest resident of the local jail.
This was part of your plan, right?
Well, in a manner of speaking, no. I was all out of ideas. It was up to Nico now.
So, here we are.
You've changed.
I thought I would slip into something more comfortable.
The stench of cheap cologne rolled over me like tear gas.
So, what do you want to know about me? Ask and I will answer. I will deny you nothing.
While George is risking his neck across town, it seems as if Nico's undercover mission is going well.
I am a very giving person.
How nice for your friends.
Assuming the objective was to discover.
Your eyes are glittering like stars.
His damn cologne was making my eyes water.
Just how close one man can sit to you on a sofa.
I was running out of sofa.
Graciento finds Nico's limits rather quickly.
As spirited as you are beautiful, I admire that.
As long as he admired it from afar. A lava lamp, hip in a retro way. I had no doubt the general thought it was hip, full stop. A stuffed swordfish. Cutting-edge technology, in 1978 at any rate. It was a portrait of some thug in a uniform. A tiger skin lay on the floor. Is that a lava lamp?
Sure, it's more impressive in the dark. I'll close the blinds.
No, don't do that. Not on such a beautiful day. That tiger skin. You didn't kill it yourself, did you?
Alas, no. I had to import a synthetic one from the United States. It is very comfortable to lie on naked.
Unfortunately, I'm allergic to man-made fibers. Who's the guy with the hat and the fat cigar?
My mother.
Big fish. Catch it yourself?
Catch it? Fishing poles are for children.
Then how did... Are those bullet holes?
2 magazines on full automatic. It put up quite a fight.
And just when things couldn't get any more awkward.
Mom, what is going on here?
Nothing, Mom. I was...
I'm in uniform. And when I'm in uniform, it's...
Madame la Presidente, sorry, Madame la Presidente.
Now, what is going on here?
Nothing, Madame la Presidente. I was just showing my friend Nico some of the cool stuff I've got.
Hi.
Good afternoon, señorita. And just what are your intentions toward my son?
Intentions? We were just talking.
How nice. She has good bone structure, however. Has she any brains?
She's a reporter.
Is she? And what sort of questions has she been asking?
I'm a freelance photojournalist. I do lifestyle features.
For what sort of magazines?
It looked safest to play dumb with good bone structure. Haya, lifestyle of the super rich and vainglorious, Envy magazine.
Excellent. Raoul, chosen well for a change.
It was pretty obvious who pulled the strings around here. I hope George was making good use of the time I was buying him.
And then it goes...
And when you were in this band of yours, you used to play that song for 2 hours?
Yeah, we were really famous at our college. Still, ours wasn't as good as the original version.
I have never heard that song before, yet I have no doubt that this must be true.
Hey! Psst! Hey, George!
Dwayne Henderson. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. Get to the American consul and tell him I've been imprisoned without charge.
Get real, George. He was the previous occupant of that cell you're in. We're gonna have to use good old American know-how to get you out of there.
Uh-oh.
That, and this truck full of explosives I've got here.
Dwayne, listen to me. You'll kill all of us.
You're such a naysayer, George. It'll go like clockwork. Negative to negative, it's positive to positive. You gotta get the bare copper wire here. Let me just, damn. Alright, I'll just hook that up. Right, there we go. Okay, just a minute. I've got to get to a safe distance.
Quick, Miguel, hit the mattress.
You have strange customs up north.
Here we go.
Too late.
Well, that's disappointing.
Are we dead yet?
Horse shit.
What happened to the explosives?
There ain't no explosives. My dumbass supplier must have given me organic fertilizer instead of chemical. All I got here is 400 pounds of lightly fried horse apples.
That's a lovely image, Dwayne. Never mind, I'll think of something.
Explosive plans tend to work a little better when the explosives actually explodes.
I couldn't reach the noose. I can't believe that punk jailed me for no reason at all.
So? It happens.
But I'm a U.S. citizen.
See? That's true. They dare not execute you.
Yeah? Well, that's something.
They'll have to arrange an accident for you instead.
Why is that noose hanging from the bars?
Renaldo strung it up, for me to hang myself. Don't cry for me, Senor Stobbart. When I am dead, the goddess will take my soul to rest in paradise.
Listen to me, Miguel. You give me that rope, and I'll get us out of here. Is there somewhere you can hide from the General?
Of course. My friends have a boat ready to take me upriver. But how are you going to break out of here with just a short piece of rope?
I'm not sure. But I'll think of something.
Miguel might not know if this plan will work, but he's fully committed to enabling it.
your plan doesn't work, will you let me hang myself in peace?
Miguel's confidence in the plan is, let's call it mixed. George quietly ties the rope while his assistant prepares for failure.
Hey, Dwayne, I want you to tie this rope to your truck and then drive forward. I'd had no idea whether this was really going to work, but I'd seen it in a black and white western. Of course, Hopalong was using a horse and Dwayne had a 4-ton truck, but hey, the principle's sound.
Anything you say, George!
Please forgive my mother. She can be a little difficult.
To be fair to Graciento, he did warn us.
Oh, my feet. Raoul, propose, you idiot.
Don't mind her. She just wants grandchildren.
Don't think I can't hear you, Raoul. I want the worthy successor, and you're not it. Propose now, or I'll do it for you.
Look, Nico, we haven't known each other very long, but... What the hell was that?
I didn't know what was going on, but Georges had to be involved in it somewhere.
George is planning a prison escape while Nico navigates family drama, both equally dangerous. George always seems to make an entrance, even when he's trying to make an exit.
I ain't gonna say a thing. That sweet sound of falling masonry says it all.
Quick, senor, the river.
Huh? Wait, what about Nico?
George, what have you done? You only had to sneak a look at the chart, and it's turned into World War III.
No time to explain. Come on.
The best time to leave is usually just before the popo shows up.
Don't move, terrorist scum. You talking to me, Junior?
Yes, I'm talking to you, fat man, and my name's not Junior.
A word to the wise, Junior. You carry on waving that pea shooter in my face, and the next person who sees it is gonna be your proctologist. Savvy?
General, I am happy to report that I have apprehended the terrorists. You idiot, not them. The other American and the French woman. They're the ones.
For a brief moment, it looked like George and Nico escaped. Then someone remembered, this is still Broken Sword.
When I recovered consciousness, I was alone, washed up on the riverbank. My head was aching fiercely, and my mouth tasted like a swamp. But I followed the sound and discovered a treehouse in a nearby clearing.
Never ignore a loose vine in any adventure game. It'll almost certainly solve a problem 20 minutes from now.
That vine rope could be useful. The water wheel had been built to provide a natural source of power. The wheel had a rim of roughly beaten iron.
Most people would walk straight past a pile of dry leaves. Not George. He sees potential.
It was a pile of damp leaves. I placed the bank statement over the damp leaves.
Turns out, bank statements aren't just depressing, but also highly flammable.
As I held the fetish to the iron rim of the wheel, a shower of sparks cascaded onto the leaves.
Now, George isn't trying to fix the water wheel. He's only trying to annoy someone enough so they'll investigate it.
Quick, man! Put out that fire! I've got a sick woman up here.
Sorry, Father, but I needed to attract your attention.
And so, George has mastered the fine art of creating just enough panic without causing too much damage. Sometimes, the hardest part of a puzzle is simply getting someone to come down a ladder. One carefully planned distraction later, and George's path forward is finally clear.
Who are you? And what do you want?
My name is Stobbart, George Stobbart.
I'm Father Hubert. I don't suppose you speak French.
Huh? Why do you want to know that?
I found a young woman with a fever by the river this morning. The poor girl is close to death. And there's nothing I can do for her but pray. I don't understand her, but I think she's speaking French.
Hang on. That must be Nico. That's my girlfriend you've got in your treehouse. What's the matter with her?
She's been bitten by a venomous river snake.
But can't you do something for her? There's a cure, isn't there?
I ran out of penicillin and morphine years ago, but the local people speak of a root which they believe will counteract the poison.
Where can I find this root?
I don't know, but maybe the shaman in the village can tell us.
Will you show me the way to the village?
Me? Oh, but I can't.
Can't? Nico's life depends on it.
You're right. But I should, despite my own guilt and shame. But I can't go as a representative of God with a creased collar.
A creased collar? You mean you put your personal attire higher than the life of a sick woman?
I will not go to that village looking anything but my best.
Give me your collar. I'm sure I can find a way to press it.
Thank you, my son. In the meantime, I must contemplate my sermon.
There was obviously more than a creased collar bothering the priest.
Broken sword rarely gives you an item without any use. We told you the vine wasn't just for decorating.
The vine provided a drive belt to connect the two stones.
George doesn't always know why something works, but he's usually willing to find out.
So there I was, hundreds of miles from civilization, doing the housework for a priest. It's a strange world. It was heavy. I guess that was intentional.
George's engineering qualifications remain highly questionable, but somehow his contraptions keep working.
The press worked surprisingly well on the collar.
With the collar finally straightened, George can now return it to Father Hubert and hopefully earn a little cooperation in the process. Considering everything George put the collar through, it's nice to hand it back in one piece.
Here's your collar, Father.
Thank you, George. You probably think it a little odd of me to make such a fuss.
Oh no. If I'd been living in the jungle for 11 years, I'd be completely screwy too.
Screwy? Yes, perhaps I am. Ever since my last visit to that village.
Now you've got your collar back, will you take me to the village?
I've still not finished my sermon.
Look, Father, I still don't know why you're so reluctant to visit that village, and it's none of my business. Whatever the reason, it can't be more important than saving Nico's life.
You're right. I must be crazy. We must make haste if we're to reach the village before nightfall.
Dun dun da.
By the time we reached the village, it was sunset.
It's funny how quickly strangers becomes allies after one good deed.
Hello, boys. Glad to see you're still wearing the underpants. What?
They're the best Christmas present we ever had, Father.
Mine are too tight.
Well, we all have our cross to bear. This is George. He has a request to make. I'm afraid I can't stay. Good luck, George.
Once again, George finds himself without supervision. History suggests this could go either way.
That's a relief. I never feel comfortable with him about.
Me neither. These damn pants keep riding right up my butt.
So, what do you want?
My girlfriend has been bitten by a snake.
So, everyone in my family has been bitten by snakes.
I was bitten by a dormouse once.
She's real sick. I hoped your wise man might have medicine.
Wise man? You must have the wrong village.
Father Hubert said there was a wise man in the village who could help me.
Ooh, he must mean the old man, the shaman.
I'd like to see the shaman, please.
You can't just go walking in there and demand to speak to the shaman.
Why not?
You have to observe the protocol. The shaman demands tribute.
Tribute? You mean like a gift?
That's right.
The eternal question. What do you give a man who has everything? Here, he'll like these biscuits.
This is why you never throw anything away in point-and-click games.
If you say so.
George finally discovers a use for the dog biscuits, and surprisingly, it's not for feeding a dog.
He liked the biscuits, especially the black ones. He wants to know if you've any more.
George lets the villagers do the delivery, probably for the best, considering his reputation around here.
I put the Mayan stone in the empty box. Here, I found some more of those biscuits for the shaman.
I'll give them to him.
Now for the real prize. The Mayan stone should finally convince the shaman that George means business.
The shaman wants to talk to you.
I hoped he would. Well, it's been nice to talk to you guys.
Trust is expensive in this village, and today the Mayan stone is the prize. George's collection of ancient artifacts briefly becomes someone else's problem.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart.
Please, sit down. Welcome, George.
Thanks.
It has long been foretold that a white man would bring the coyote stone to this village.
My girlfriend's been bitten by a snake.
And you want me to heal her?
That's the idea. Can you do it?
I'm not sure. My gums aren't what they used to be.
Listen, my girlfriend's in a coma. Please, old man, give me the root.
What root?
I don't suppose this would be any use to you.
It sure would. This wax on a stick will change our lives.
What do you want it for?
To decorate our bodies for the monkey dance.
Why is Father Hubert so reluctant to visit the village?
I don't know. He used to come here a lot, but then he just stopped. You'd think he'd want to spend some time with his kids.
Father Hubert told me of a root which could cure the bite of the river snake.
There's nothing sacred with these people. That was our secret, known only to members of my tribe.
If that root is my chance of saving Nico's life, then I want it. Fast.
There is time yet, George Stobbart. Time to learn why you were called here.
Fine. If I listen to your story, then will you give me the root?
The eel travels far, but still returns to the place of his spawning.
And look, I'm running a tight schedule, so can you skip the riddles?
You cannot blame George for trying.
Many years ago, when the world was young, the great god and king Quetzalcoatl was defeated by trickery and deceit. His enemy Tezcatlipoca took his place as leader and demanded terrible human sacrifices. A group of loyal priests found a way to trap Tezcatlipoca. But his powers were so great, they knew he would not remain trapped forever. His time of incarceration would end with the eclipse, which marked the close of the Fifth Age. So the priests fashioned 3 obsidian stones which contained the power to seal the mirror for all time. But before the stones could be put in place, they were seized by the invading Spanish.
But how did they trap Tez, the evil god?
They built a pyramid which they told Tezcatlipoca was dedicated to him. At its center, they fashioned a huge mirror of perfectly smooth obsidian. Luring him into the pyramid with praise and flattery, they used sorcery to ensnare him in the mirror.
What happened to the stones?
They were taken by the Spanish to the coastal town that is now called Quaramonte City. Only 1 stone reached Spain. The other 2 fell into the hands of buccaneers. The Jaguar Stone was captured by an English captain, El Draco. The Eagle Stone was taken by a pirate called Ketch. The third stone, the Coyote Stone, reached Spain safely. That is the stone in your possession.
Tell me more about the Jaguar Stone.
Many centuries ago, the port of Quaramonte was entered by a ship flying Spanish colors. The captain, the man known as El Draco, sent soldiers ashore. Only when the soldiers arrested the mayor did the people realize that they were English privateers. The mayor was held hostage while the soldiers looted and plundered the city. Amongst the treasures they stole was the Jaguar Stone.
Where is the Jaguar Stone now?
I suppose El Draco took it back to his homeland, across the Great Sea.
To England? Tell me more about the Eagle Stone.
The stone was loaded onto a galleon with many valuable artifacts plundered by the Spanish. But shortly after leaving harbor, a terrible squall blew up and damaged the ship. The ship was intercepted by a bloodthirsty pirate, Captain Ketch. Ketch made short work of overpowering the crew, stealing the treasure, and sinking the Spanish ship.
Where's the Eagle Stone now?
Nobody knows for sure. Ketch retired from piracy and bought an island in the Caribbean.
What do I do when I find the stones?
Bring them here to me and I shall prepare you. The stones must be taken to the heart of the pyramid. Only there can they be used to seal the gate by which Tezcatlipoca will return to this world.
Now do I get the root?
Here, take it. Make haste if you wish to save the girl's life. The hummingbird sings to me of death to come.
Now you're talking in riddles again. Listen, is it okay if I crash here? I've got no chance of finding my way through the jungle in the dark.
You're welcome, but you probably won't get much sleep. Tonight's the night of the monkey dance.
One monkey dance and what was probably a little too much village hospitality later, George heads back wondering what exactly happened last night.
I left the village at dawn and stumbled back through the jungle in a post-party daze. It was just like sneaking back to my parents' house when I was younger. Except Oakland didn't have monkeys or parrots.
George's homemade chemistry set is officially opened for business. Batteries sold separately.
The cone was ideal as a makeshift container. As the liquid was squeezed from the root, it collected in the cone.
Everything works exactly as planned, which is actually quite rare for George. George carefully carries the finished mixture up the ladder. After everything it took to make, dropping it now would be unfortunate. I wish Freddy Farkas was here to help though.
Look, Hubert, the antidote. What are you waiting for? Give it to her, quickly.
George finally has the cure in his hands. Whether Nico is about to thank him or blame him is up for debate.
Nico. Here, drink this.
Gluk, 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 gluk.
Oh, George, it's horrible.
Just swallow it down. Okay, try and rest now, darling. You'll need all your strength when we go after the other two stones.
Other stones? What other stones? What have you gotten me into now, George Stobbart?
The patient is sounding more like her old self already.
George's holiday on Ketch's Island lasts roughly 5 seconds before he starts snooping through somebody else's paperwork.
I just had to sneak a look at those plans.
Hey, get out of there.
You know, wherever I go, I hear those words. Paris, Syria, Ireland, or Spain. Makes no difference.
What do you think you're doing?
I was trying to show some interest in your project.
Unfortunately, George's career in industrial espionage lasts only about 8 seconds before he is caught and politely asked to leave the area. George can't resist taking a quick peek through the funny looking device. It's not every day that you get to play with one of these things. Since nobody else seems interested in helping, George heads over to meet the island's youngest fisherman. His name is Rio, and judging by his luck so far, the fish are winning.
Hi, is this Ketch's Landing?
Yeah, man. You wanna buy some fish?
Nah, I don't like fish. What's your name?
Rio. It means river. What about you?
George. It means, well, it's just a name.
George's first stop is the local museum, only to discover it's closed. Ancient history will have to wait.
It was locked.
The house is closed.
How come?
It is undergoing refurbishment.
Refurbishment? Where are the workmen?
Preparation is half the work, young man. The intention is to prepare the museum for the new century.
It's a museum?
He didn't know it was a museum, Frost. We should have a sign. The Frederick Ketch Memorial Museum. It would look nice in neon.
A museum for a pirate? There was a stony silence.
Frederick Ketch was emphatically not a pirate. It's precisely this sort of vile misrepresentation that Mr. Bronson is seeking to rebalance.
Oh? How?
Mr. Bronson has kindly agreed to undertake the museum's refurbishment at a very reasonable price. He understands the importance of a sense of history.
He also understands spherical geometry.
Mina?
Well, he does.
Listen, ma'am. I came a long way to visit this place.
If we make an exception in your case, everyone will want to get in.
Pardon me, but I didn't exactly have to fight my way through the crowds.
You're the second visitor we've had today.
No, I'm sorry, but it's impossible.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stobbart. Would you care for tea?
No, thank you, ma'am. I don't like tea. I've been talking to Rio, the little fisher boy.
I'll thank you not to mention that little wretch in my presence.
Dirty little whelk. Nasty fishy boy.
That will do, Mina.
I gather you don't have much time for the little boy.
That child is a delinquent, Mr. Stobbart.
Yeah, well, he's only, what, 11, maybe?
A knave with one hand on the tops.
What is it about Rio that you don't like, Miss Frost?
Well, once upon a time, he and Emily...
Be quiet this instant, Mina.
What can you tell me about Emily?
Emily? What business can she be of yours?
Her parents were killed in a typhoon.
We, as her only living relatives, took it upon ourselves to raise the child.
It's good to know Charity isn't dead.
Oh, but she is. Washed overboard in the typhoon.
Mr. Stobbart wasn't talking about Emily's mother. He was being sarcastic.
What else can you tell me about Emily?
How dare you pry into our family in this way? I refuse to answer any more of your impertinent questions.
Is that your cat?
Yes, it is.
That's Ruddles.
Do you like cats, Mr. Stobbart?
I love them. They're so cute with their claws and their little puckered butts.
Aren't they, though?
Don't encourage him, Mina.
You're really fond of that cat, aren't you?
He is our companion and our solace.
I thought about catnapping the little monster until they let me in, but it wasn't my style. Maybe there was some other way I could use their affection for the cat to get me into the house. Okay, it was time for diversionary tactics. I thought I saw a little girl down on the beach.
You must be mistaken.
He must be mistaken. Mustn't he, Frost?
I'm sure I'm not. A little girl and that young fisher boy.
What? It's not possible. What were they doing?
Oh, the kinds of things that all little boys and girls get up to at their age.
When I was a little girl, we used to play cows and milkmaids.
Well betide you if you're lying to us, Mr. Stobbart. Heaven help you.
A tiny white lie later, and both ladies rush off to rescue Emily from playing on the beach.
With a creak of ancient corsetry, the sisters sailed majestically over the distant horizon.
Sometimes solving a puzzle is all about patience. Other times it's waiting for everybody to leave before moving a ladder.
The ladder extended easily. The flagpole had some sort of technical gadget on the end. I couldn't reach the flagpole, and a bush stopped me from moving the ladder across.
One job done. Now it's back to the beach, where Rio is still busy trying to catch dinner. George's next obstacle isn't a cult or an ancient mystery. It's helping a young fisherman land a single fish. Seems fair, if only the fish agreed. Judging by the empty bucket, this could take a while.
Tell me about your friend Emily.
Why are you so interested in Emily Ketch?
Emily Ketch? A descendant of Captain Ketch, the pirate?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't bother you?
Why should it? We don't responsible for our ancestors.
Can you let me have a fish, kid?
I thought you said you don't like fish.
It's not for me. It's a present.
For the old ladies? Well, it makes a change from flowers and candy.
No, it's for their cat.
Okay. What do I get out of it?
I can pay you. I've got Quaramonte in dollars, French francs, and traveler's checks.
You must be joking. The nearest bank is 3 islands away.
Is this worm worth a fish?
Could be good bait. How did it die?
I think it drowned in tequila.
Just like my Uncle Gabriel. Yeah, I'll have that. Okay, I'll get you a fish. It might take a while though.
Despite the unexpected bicycle success, George still leaves empty-handed when it comes to seafood.
No luck with a fish?
No, man. They don't want bite. That's 'cause they know there's a storm brewing.
Storm? I don't think so.
Hey, I caught a bite.
You have?
It's a big one. A real big one.
Reel him in, Rio. Jeez, it must be a whale or something.
The fish continued to avoid Rio completely, but at least someone's old bicycle wasn't quite so lucky.
Rustiest whale I ever see.
The only serviceable part of the bicycle's wreck was a rubber inner tube. You just never know when you're going to need stuff like that.
One man's abandoned bicycle is another man's puzzle solutions.
I still need a fish, Rio.
Okay, make me try again.
Maybe you better change your bait.
Persistence finally pays off. Against all odds, Rio lands an actual fish.
There's a fish, my man.
I can't put it in my pocket while it's flapping about like that.
No problem.
With a fish in one hand and a rubber hose in the other, George puts together another one of those plans that only make sense in adventure games. Sometimes ancient conspiracies require careful detective work. Other times they require tying a fish to a flagpole and hoping that the cat takes the bait.
That should get the old cat dancing. I just hoped it didn't give itself a cardiac.
For once, everything goes exactly according to plan. The cat gets a fish, and George gets a ball. Everything happens before the cat realizes it was outsmarted. With the ball safely recovered, George's attention turns to the patch of foliage nearby. You never know what might be hiding in an adventure game.
I couldn't think of any reason to climb the tree. A large tree stood beside the house, with a suggestive U formed by the branches.
Experience has taught him that suspicious-looking scenery is always worth checking out. George turns an ordinary tree into an oversized catapult, because apparently that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
I put my lucky lump of coal in the catapult, took aim. No! My lucky piece of coal vanished into the distance. It looked like it was going into orbit. I put the ball in the catapult, took aim. Yes! Okay, so it was a lucky shot, but I'd knocked the theodolite target clean off the end of the flagpole.
George finally knocks the marker free, much to somebody else's future annoyance. It doesn't take long for the surveyor to notice something important has gone missing. Back on the beach, the situation causes immediate confusion.
What the hell's going on here? Where is it? I had to climb out of the window to put that one on. Damn it, I'm gonna have to go through all that again.
Not this time. The house is locked up and the sisters aren't here.
Hell's teeth! I'll have to put the spare target on the other flagpole. A whole morning's work wasted. I'm gonna fix all this and then I'm gonna fix you, you hear?
Yeah? Fine. I'll be waiting.
The surveyor promises to fix the marker first, and George immediately afterwards. Not everyone on Ketch's island appreciates George's investigative methods. The surveyor certainly doesn't.
What you doing, Bronson? Just hanging around?
I'm gonna kill you for this, Stobbart! Get me down from here!
What, so you can kill me? Gee, you talked me out of it, Bronson.
I felt a little guilty about leading Bronson up there, but not much, obviously. The marker was a bright, shiny thing, and I have a weakness for bright, shiny things. It wasn't going to be much use without the theodolite, though.
George decides that if he's already making enemies, he may as well be thorough. He makes sure to take everything that will not help with his investigation. One last trip to the beach sees George collecting everything of interest before making his way back to the museum.
With Bronson out of the way, I could finally get a clear look at the plans. Engineers' drawings didn't mean much to me, but one thing was clear. These plans were for a 5-story, 200-roomed, luxury, pirate-themed hotel. Another stain on the bedspread of paradise.
You there! Why is Mr. Bronson hanging from that flagpole?
He climbed up there of his own accord.
Then help him, you stupid man! Quickly, before he falls!
George returns with some rather revealing information. Sometimes exposing a conspiracy requires ancient manuscripts.
Here, Bronson's plans.
This time, he just took waving someone's building plans in front of the right people.
This means nothing to me.
She's not wearing her reading glasses.
Ah, wait! Yes, I see now. I see it all too clearly. That man is planning to build a huge hotel. Bronson is a confidence trickster. Mina, we have been duped. I'm glad we didn't sign his contract.
Oh, I hate tricksters. Especially confident ones.
Come, Mina.
George chooses perfect comedic timing, revealing Bronson's plans while the poor man is still dangling overhead.
Mr. Bronson, you may consider yourself persona non grata.
Yes. Cave Canum.
Cave kindly disentangle yourself from our flagpole and eject yourself from our property this very minute.
Disentangle! Eject!
Hey, cut that out, you crazy old bat!
How dare you! Mina isn't crazy, she's just engagingly eccentric.
Yeah, as a bedbug. Ouch!
Lovely as this little vista is, I'd be really grateful if you could let me into the museum now.
Certainly, young man. We are most grateful to you for exposing this scoundrel, Mina, the lock.
Thanks, ladies.
Stobbart, be a pal. Get these harpies off me. Ooh!
Bronson is repeatedly introduced to an umbrella while hanging from a flagpole. With Bronson out of the way, George finally gets access to the museum. Then, the story shifts across Europe to Nico in London.
While George was basking in the sun-drenched Caribbean, I went to London. It was a long shot, but I thought I'd start my search for the Jaguar Stone at the British Museum.
George might be chasing clues on tropical islands, but Nico's investigation is about to uncover a mystery of its own inside the British Museum.
It was a stone identical in size and style to the Coyote stone. However, this stone bore the image of a jaguar.
Rather than guess at the artifact's history, Nico asked the attendant for help. Luckily, he knows exactly who she should speak to.
Can I help you, miss?
What can you tell me about that stone with a jaguar on it?
The so-called Jaguar Stone was brought back from the Americas by Sir Francis Drake and presented, along with the more famous scrying mirror, to John Dee.
What's this scrying mirror?
It's a little square of polished obsidian. Mayan it is.
And what does it do?
Well, it's a bit like a crystal ball, except flat and black. And you can't see anything in it. Old man Dee had a psychic who reckoned he could speak to the angels through it. I think he was taking Dee for a ride myself. The old loony didn't like the stone, though. Reckoned it was tainted by the devil. Come along, miss. I'll show you the mirror. There. John Dee's famous scrying mirror, given to him by Francis Drake.
Do you know if this mirror has any relevance to Tezcatlipoca?
Who? Tezcatlipoca? I can't even say it. Ah, there's someone here who'll be able to help you better than me. This young lady has some questions to ask, Professor. I think she's from France.
Professor Roubillet?
Eh? What? You two know each other, do you? Excuse me, the telephone.
We meet again.
Mademoiselle, France, eh?
Yes, I believe that's where you live, Professor.
I have a house there, on the outskirts of Paris, but I haven't been back for many months.
What can you tell me about the Jaguar Stone, Professor?
It's obsidian, from the Chichen Itza region.
Professor Roubillet, your taxi's here.
If you'll excuse me, I have some urgent business to attend to at the docks.
The meeting is over before it even begins, as Roubillet is summoned by the telephone.
Can you answer me some questions about the Jaguar Stone?
Certainly, miss. If you just step this way. It's gone. Some sods half-inched it.
Half-inched?
Stolen it, miss. Never mind. The silent alarm will have been tripped. I'm afraid nobody can leave until our crack security team gets here.
How long will that take?
Could be a while. I think it's their tea break.
The thief could be miles away by then.
Don't you worry about that, miss. Just don't try to leave.
It was too much of a coincidence that Roubillet showed up and the stone promptly disappeared. I didn't have time for their crack security team to finish that tea. I had to get after him.
Ancient artifacts generally aren't supposed to disappear from locked museum displays, but this one does.
What was it you wanted?
Look at this. The thief left this key in the cabinet.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That makes the theft an inside job, right?
Oh dear.
In other words, the thief was Professor Oublier.
Well, let's leave that for the police to decide, shall we? I better phone them right away.
Nico points out what everyone is beginning to suspect. It's a remarkable coincidence that Oublier left just before the theft.
Hello?
I knew I had nothing to worry about if the police were called.
Yes, I'll hold.
But I had to catch up with Oublier, and fast.
You'll have to be quick, miss. I'm on the phone.
Don't you think it's suspicious that Oublier has urgent business at the docks?
Not in the slightest, young lady. He's gone to oversee the unloading of cargo, an exhibition of Mayan sculpture on loan from Mexico City.
What's the name of the ship?
The Xibalba Princess.
The Jaguar stone might be gone, but whoever took it left Nico with another important clue.
The key unlocked the case. It was an obsidian dagger, thin and razor sharp.
The British Museum has appeared in countless films and games over the years. Broken Sword puts its own mystery spin on one of London's most famous landmarks.
It was a woven wall hanging with a South American design.
Nico's search leads her towards a large curtain, because hidden passages have a habit of lurking behind these things. The stolen Jaguar stone has turned the museum upside down. It goes into full lockdown, but Nico is one step ahead,
I levered the handle open with the thin dagger.
escaping through a side door. Now, every great treasure hunt eventually ends up in a dusty museum. George's is no exception.
The room had been decorated to resemble the interior of a sailing ship. It was disturbingly effective.
The museum doesn't exactly scream hidden treasure, but George isn't living without collecting a few suspicious-looking souvenirs.
That might come in useful in ticklish situations. Captain Frederick Ketch, 1570. Around his neck was a cross. Maybe he was a part-time pirate. The portrait might have made a nice souvenir, but it was too large to carry.
If portraits could only talk, he would probably refuse to tell us where the treasure is, anyway.
Okay, I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what?
Because no pirate adventure is considered complete without stealing a map.
The chart fitted exactly into the recess on the top of the desk. Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale.
Time to stop collecting clues and actually start using them.
The lantern fitted so precisely in the inkwell, it could only be deliberate.
For a moment, it seems like George gets some peace and quiet. Emily decides otherwise.
Surprise!
What the? Who are you?
I'm Emily.
What were you doing in there, Emily?
Hiding. What are you doing here?
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-ups? Pfft, I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not. You shouldn't be here. What's your name?
I'm George.
Pleased to meet you, Jaws.
George.
Jaws?
Jeez.
Make your mind up.
That cross you're wearing, Emily,
It's my lucky Jesus cross.
it's just like the one Captain Ketch wore.
Uh-huh.
Can I borrow it?
Uh-uh.
What would you trade for that cross, Emily?
A puppy.
Well, I don't happen to have a puppy in my pocket right now. Can you think of anything else you'd trade?
Don't know.
George quickly discovers negotiations with children follow a very different set of rules. Emily isn't interested in money, treasure, or pirate history. However, she is willing to trade the necklace, but only for a puppy. Unfortunately, George left his portable pet shop back in Paris, so he'll have to find another way to win her over.
What do you give to a small, irritating girl who asks about everything?
Try a conch. Delicate colors, interesting shape, and when you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Yeah, why's that?
Usually because you're standing next to it.
Cool. Have you got one?
Yeah, but I promised it to my sister. She well vexed with me.
Why is your sister mad with you?
Well, last night, when I got home with our supper, she went wild. Rio, she said, how come all you ever catch is puffer fish? A sicker puffer fish. What I want is tiger fish. So don't bother come back home till you catch one, boy. I don't see how I'm gonna catch no tiger fish. All I have is a fishing pole and a worm.
What do you need to catch a tiger fish?
One of them real fancy flies like the rich fishermen use.
Rio has his own problems. He needs to catch a tiger fish for his sister before he can hand over the conch. That means George now has to improvise some fishing gear. Fortunately, the cat seems willing to help.
The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces.
With a fresh pile of feathers collected, George heads back to Rio. Hopefully, they are convincing enough to fool a hungry tiger fish, because George certainly isn't catching one himself. Now we finally find out if our lure will attract fish or just confuse them.
What you got there?
Hey, this is just what you need to make a fly.
Thanks. Let's hope them tiger fish hungry. A deal's a deal. Here's a conch.
One successful fishing trip later, George walks away with exactly what he came for. Now, it's back to Emily to continue what has somehow become a pirate-themed trading chain. Hopefully, the exchange goes a little smoother than last time. Emily might be in a more reasonable mood.
Why don't you run along and play?
Aunt Mina told me. Stay out of mischief.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay indoors, does it? On a beautiful day like today?
There's a storm coming.
Oh, nuts. You don't know that.
I do so. I can see the whole world from the window.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm busy. Here, I've got a conch. Would you like it?
Dunno. Aunt Frost told me never to take presents from strange men.
I'm not a strange man.
Then why are you called Jaws, Jaws? That's a stupid name.
I'm not called... Look, conch, pretty. Swap for the cross, yes or no? Right, this thing's going out the window.
Okay, we'll do swapsies.
Emily finally agrees to trade, proving she'd apparently rather have a conch shell than a priceless family necklace heirloom.
Ketch's cross slipped snugly into the penholder.
What you doing, Jaws?
I've put your cross in this little hole in the desk.
Why?
Impulse mainly, with a dash of irrational intuition.
Silly. Only women have intuition.
The lantern cast a strong light over the desktop. The light cast a shadow of the cross. And the shadow fell precisely over a small, unnamed island shaped like a skull. That must be it. Ketch's Treasure Island.
Uh-oh. That's Zombie Island. It's a bad place.
No kidding? Well, bad place or not, that's my next port of call.
Can I come too?
The hell you can.
I never get to leave the house.
Captain Ketch clearly enjoyed dramatic treasure maps. The lantern, map, and cross finally exposes the next clue. Unfortunately, the treasure appears to be hidden on an island, whose tourism board clearly gave up years ago.
Do you know anything about pirate treasure?
Man, that's all stories. There's no such thing as a real pirate treasure.
Would you take me to, Zombie Island?
In this weather? You're mad, man.
The rain will keep the zombies indoors. Just say I did meet a zombie. What would you do?
There ain't no zombies on Zombie Island. At least, not anymore. It's uninhabited.
Good. What do you mean, not anymore?
You still want to go?
I guess.
Well, I ain't had no luck with them tiger fish. And with the mood my sister is in, I'll be safer with the zombies.
Rio agrees to ferry George across to Zombie Island, although the trip begins with a rather unusual farewell, as someone is tossed straight into the ocean behind them. Rio calmly continues paddling as if nothing has happened, meaning this might be a regular occurrence.
So, this was Zombie Island. Somehow I'd been expecting something more sinister. Come on, Rio. Let's find that treasure.
No, thanks. I'm staying right here.
Oh, come on. You said yourself there's no zombies left.
Yeah, but that was while there was a big pile of seawater between me and this place. All me have now is this little bit between the boat and the shore, and I'm hanging on to it.
George comes up, just short.
It was too high. I couldn't get up there. The outcrop was about the only feature on the cliff face. Rio's boat was strewn with fishing nets and tackle. No, it can't be.
Somehow, our lucky piece of coal beat us here.
But it was. My lucky piece of coal. Rio, how far away is Ketch's Landing from here?
Best part of 10 miles. Why?
10 miles? That catapult must have been a lot more powerful than I thought. Could I borrow your net?
Yeah, man, no problem.
George borrows Rio's fishing net. Let's hope he plans on bringing it back.
You planning on catching some fish?
Nope. I'm after a big rock.
Turns out the net makes a surprisingly effective climbing tool. It's not exactly professional equipment, but it will have to do.
Well, here I go. Wish me luck, Rio.
Good luck, George. Watch out for the Walking Dead.
George presses onward. Meanwhile, Nico has problems of her own.
I stumbled down dark stairwells for what seemed like forever, until suddenly I found myself, wow, in an abandoned London Underground station. This place must have been closed down decades ago. There was nothing very useful in my bag, just a single hair clip.
Turns out, Nico packed exactly one useful item. Armed with nothing more than a hair clip, Nico starts dismantling the vending machine. Somewhere, a maintenance worker is having a terrible day.
I pushed the hair clip into the slot and whatever was stuck there disappeared into the machine. I pulled out an old English penny.
Free money is always nice. Spending it on chocolate as old as the station itself is certainly a choice.
An ancient bar of chocolate dropped into the tray at the bottom of the machine. And as a special bonus, the penny dropped through to the reject bucket. I took the ancient bar of chocolate. I pulled out an old English penny.
The chocolate isn't actually for Nico. It's needed to trigger one of Broken Sword's best hidden Easter eggs. After offering it to the mysterious ghost, she quietly disappears, opening a secret area that most players never discover.
The ghost obviously didn't want to talk. Perhaps it was shy.
Hidden away is Robert Foster, hero of Beneath a Steel Sky. Always fun when developers reference their earlier games.
Who the hell are you?
Joey, is that you?
Oh, I remember you now. Hey, listen, don't go near that hole.
Nobody tells Robert Foster what to do, lady.
You don't understand. I've played this game before. There's something horrible in that hole. Some beast with tentacles.
You're nuts.
They don't make animations like that anymore.
Nico warns Foster not to go near the hole. Naturally, he ignores the advice, immediately regrets it, and disappears. Meanwhile, Nico casually returns to buying her train ticket.
I put the old penny into the slot, the needle twitched rustily, and the machine spat out a card. The blade of the dagger just fitted between the door and the soft wood frame. The door gave slightly, and then held firm.
The dagger proves useful once again, although this time it's opening cupboards, not fighting enemies.
I remembered my student days when I regularly forgot my house keys. A wiggle with the thick card between the frame and the lock, and the latch lifted.
Now, for the easy part. The train finally arrives, and with it, Nico's chance to continue following Karzak without being spotted. Good timing has never hurt any adventure heroes, and everything is now in place for Nico's next move.
The train was my ride out of it. I could worry about not having a ticket when I got to the docks.
Nico's investigation now moves on by rail, while George continues on foot. Both investigations are getting closer to the truth, although George's route definitely involves more trees and climbing. George uses his hollow reed to investigate a nearby hole, and instead of asking what kind of creature did that, he immediately starts thinking about how he can use it.
The end of the reed had been neatly bitten off. Now I knew what was living in there. A long-toothed, snarling, furry wild thing. The dart fitted snugly into the reed. Great. I was tooled up and dangerous.
George's latest invention may not look impressive, but it should get the job done. With the blow dart ready, George retraces his steps through Zombie Island. Whatever Captain Ketch left behind clearly wasn't meant to be found easily. Every path seems to lead to another obstacle, but at least this time, George has a new weapon in hand. Treasure hunts never seem to be a straight line, and Captain Ketch clearly enjoyed making future explorers work for every clue.
It was a stout, overhanging branch. If I jumped, I could just about reach the branch.
George spots the wild boar. Rather than wrestling it, which would almost certainly end badly, he uses his homemade blow dart to send it charging into the direction of a dead end. The startled boar crashes straight through, accidentally clearing a path. Sometimes brute force works, you just need someone else to provide it. Another problem solved entirely by accident. I wonder what the island goat would say if he saw this boar.
It was a needle of rock in the middle of the clearing. It didn't look like a natural formation. The creeper just came away from the rock as I pulled it.
George somehow prepares a tool before continuing his search.
The marker clipped firmly onto the net. Great. I'd created some sort of creeper marker fishing net assembly. Sometimes I terrify myself with my creative genius.
One accurate throw later, George has exactly the anchor point he needed.
I'd successfully got the marker into a position near the top of the needle simply by using the kind of lateral thinking that can get you institutionalized.
George's improvised tool works exactly as intended. Thankfully, George's aim has improved somewhat after the last game. With the path finally open, George pushes deeper into Zombie Island than ever before. Captain Ketch clearly chose this location carefully. Between the cliffs, jungle, and wildlife, it's hard to imagine anyone stumbling across his treasure by accident. We continue towards the pirate's treasure, although it still feels like Captain Ketch has one or two surprises left. Time to see what Captain Ketch wanted future treasure hunters to notice.
The hill I was on had reminded me of a camel's hump as I'd climbed up it. Now I had to see what I could see.
Captain Ketch's final clue relies on simply surveying rather than a traditional treasure map. Once the marker and distant rock pillar align, George has his answer. The old pirate's clues comes together and George knows precisely where to continue his search.
It was the marker which I had raised up the needle of rock. I could see the marker I had fastened on the rock down in the forest, and right in line with it, that had to be where Ketch had hidden his treasure.
George sets off towards the treasure, while Nico prepares for a much riskier mission aboard an old ship. While George follows pirate clues, Nico finds herself relying on stealth. One wrong move here could bring her investigation to a sudden end. As soon as the guard goes around the corner, Nico slips on board the ship and climbs to safety. Timing is everything, because getting caught now would almost certainly end the investigation before it really began. Nico patiently waits for the guard to investigate the open compartment before quietly shutting the door behind him. A quick improvisation with the broom locks him inside, buying her a little more time to search the ship.
Got you.
Rather than confronting the guard directly, Nico lets curiosity do most of the lifting. Sometimes brains really do beat brute force.
But the collar woman was there. They'll know it was me.
But you have the stone. The right stone, you're sure?
Yes, of course, it's the Jaguar stone. No possible mistake. Here it is. Karzak, please. The police will be looking for me soon. You're going to get me out of the country, aren't you?
Stop your whining, Oublier. Do you have any idea what this stone symbolizes?
I thought you just wanted it to frighten the natives.
Fool. I intend to cast this stone into the sea.
But why? It's unique.
Exactly. With it gone, the Mayan priest's plan to destroy Tezcatlipoca cannot succeed.
I can assure you that Tezcatlipoca is a mythical figure.
Such a small mind you live in. Tezcatlipoca is real. I have seen him in my dreams. We have spoken of his plans for this world. We have spoken of your part in these plans.
My part?
He told me you would be useful. He told me how to crush your spirit by turning you to drugs.
My wife died. You know that full well. She was my world, my everything.
And now, you are no longer useful. She called out your name as she died, you know.
What? What are you saying?
And then they thought you'd done it. It all worked perfectly.
You? It was you? You bastard! You monster! For the love of God, Karzak!
Which one?
Nico waits for the right moment to enter, only to discover Karzak has eliminated his own partner. Whatever game he's playing, witnesses clearly aren't part of the plan anymore.
There were no signs of life, but I checked that Oublier really was beyond help. We were going to need the stone to thwart Karzak. I knew Oublier would have approved. It was the Jaguar stone, all right.
Karzak proves just how dangerous he really is, attacking Nico the moment she lowers her guard. A desperate stab with the obsidian dagger gives her one chance to run, and she does not waste it. It only takes George a few seconds to realize he's arrived at exactly the wrong place.
Pirates?
George has seen plenty of real danger lately. Fake danger catches him completely off guard.
I was about to make good my escape when...
Cut! Who the hell are you?
I can explain everything.
Don't bother.
George follows along, hoping the misunderstanding clears itself up.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were making a movie.
So who are you?
Stobbart, George Stobbart. 2 B's and 2 T's.
It's okay, Mr. Hawks. He wasn't in the shot.
Hawks? This had to be Carlton Hawks, the newest enfant terrible of Tinseltown. I'd read about him. Mailroom boy makes good. Nice to know it was still possible to get to be a director armed with only an encyclopedic knowledge of postal charges.
Stay out of the way, surfer boy. I'll deal with you later.
Surfer boy?
While everyone prepares the next scene, George starts browsing the snack table. He decides food is less dangerous than upsetting the director again.
The bun was so stale it felt like a small rock.
Freshly baked. Sometime during the previous century, maybe.
Hi, George Stobbart.
Hello, mate.
You're English, right?
Blimey, you don't miss much, do you? Bert Savage. Have you seen what the caterers laid on today? Buns and pancakes.
That's awful.
It's an improvement on yesterday. The buns are stale, but the pancakes are bloody lovely.
Would you like a bun?
No way. The last one I tried cracked my dentures.
Apparently, the biggest danger on set isn't the bad actors. It's never a good sign when the stunt double fears the catering more than the action scenes.
I was talking to Mr. Savage, the stuntman. Is he all right?
What makes you say that?
He's not making any sense.
The guy's English.
The director considers the matter settled. Somehow, he answered nothing, and apparently, everything.
Hey there, I'm George Stobbart.
Well, hi, handsome. You're cute. I wish it was you playing the lead male instead of that kid.
I can't act, ma'am.
So what? I bet you can kiss.
I couldn't believe I was having this conversation with a real movie star.
What's it like sharing the spotlight with an actor who's young enough to be your son?
What do you mean?
What part are you playing?
Pirate Babs, the ruthless and passionate lady buccaneer. It's a great part. I get to kiss a lot, and I kick ass. Like the boots?
At least someone on the set is having a good time.
Hi there, George Stobbart.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Haiku McEwen.
Is your name really Haiku?
Yeah. It was my mom's idea, okay? When I was born, I was so small and perfectly formed I reminded her of a Japanese poem.
Well, I guess it could have been worse. She could have called you Limerick.
That's my middle name.
Did you always want to be an actor?
I don't think of what I do as acting, man.
You're not alone.
It's more like I'm the voice of my generation. What I'm saying for the kids on the street.
Which is what? I'm crap, I'm going nowhere?
Huh? What are you saying, man?
Stobbart, get out of shot. Positions, everybody.
I'll get a flip chart and explain it to you later, Haiku.
Let's just say Hiko won't be bothering script writers with any difficult questions.
Haiku, baby, are you ready?
Okay, man. Which scene is this?
You've been captured by Silver's accomplice, Pirate Babs, who's fallen in love with you. Okay, people, top of page 76, Sharon.
What about my big speech?
It's been cut. Everybody ready?
Up to speed.
quiet on the set. Okay, let's make magic.
Oh, please.
And action!
Why don't you forget that dumb old squire and his bunch of merry men? Can't you see we were made for each other?
I know, but Squire Trelawney saved my life, Captain Babs. Why, if it hadn't have been for him, that giant octopus would have made mincemeat out of me.
But right now he thinks you're a traitor. He's locked you out of the stockade, Jimbo.
That 20-foot-high wall with spikes might have kept out Silver's men, but it ain't gonna stop me.
Oh, Jimbo.
And cut! Good heavy breathing, Sharon.
Natch, I'm a pro.
Did you get the heavy breathing, Flash?
Did I ever, boss? We should have made this movie in 3D.
Haiku, you were great. We're setting up for the stunt now, so get a bite to eat.
Hiko takes a well-earned snack break, leaving the difficult part to someone else.
Savage, on set, damn it!
George starts putting together a little recipe. The stunt double probably won't be asking for seconds. George may not know much about filmmaking, but he does know a good distraction when he sees one.
What have you got there?
Would you like a pancake, Bert?
Don't mind if I do.
The pancake oozed maple syrup all over Bert's chins.
Ugh, you put bloody syrup on that pancake. Now it's messed me all up.
Those hornets were not pleased.
George has accidentally discovered the local wildlife, and they have even worse tempers than the director. It's never comforting when the scenery starts sounding angry. George now fully commits to the scientific method. Repeat the experiment and see what happens. One stale bread wasn't enough. Time for a second opinion.
Get that camera rolling. This could be good. Cut and print. What brilliant folks. Okay, the next scene is down on the beach. This is where Hawkins finds the treasure in the Cave of the Crabs.
Would those be giant killer crabs by any chance?
Giant mutant killer crabs with attitude.
There it was, the rock I'd seen from the camel's hump. Now that I was close up, I could make out a small cave near the top of the pillar.
For a brief moment, George remembers why he came to the island in the first place. He gets interrupted as he inches closer to his objective.
Hey, you! Trouble!
Who, me?
Apparently wandering around on somebody else's film set is frowned upon.
I want you to stay right where I can keep an eye on you.
I'm not one of your lackeys, Hawks. I go where I like.
Not here, you don't. The movie company has rented this island for the duration. You're trespassing. Do as you're told or you're gone.
It's difficult to argue with someone who has literally rented the entire beach.
What's the name of the movie?
Are you trying to be funny?
No.
It's Treasure Island. The only book I ever read twice.
Why don't you use that cave up on the rock pillar at the end of the beach?
We don't have a stuntman anymore.
Hey, I'll do the stunt.
I appreciate the offer, but if you fall, you'll sue us.
No, I won't.
Everybody hear that?
I heard it.
Good enough, we're covered. Got any experience?
Death-defying leaps, desperate fistfights, getting caught in explosions, you name it.
Okay, people, move out. We're shooting the scene at the end of the beach.
No, we're not. The camera's still bogged down.
Shoot, I forgot about that. No go, Stobbart. We'll have to use this cave after all.
Every film crew has a weird cameraman.
Hi, I'm George Stobbart.
My name's Harris. Most people call me Flash.
You're the cameraman, right?
That's right.
Why'd they call you Flash? You used to be a stills photographer?
Nope.
I decided not to pursue the subject. What do you think of Haiku McEwen?
What's to think? The kid will have earned more by the time his balls drop than I'll earn in a lifetime. Good luck to him.
A little industry resentment bubbles to the surface.
Flash?
Yep.
We can't film at the Needle Rock because the camera's bogged down, right?
You got it, champ.
So why can't we use the portable camera instead?
You know, that's a pretty smart idea.
For someone who wandered on set by accident, George's suggestion isn't half bad.
I've been talking to the cameraman. He's got a portable camera.
So?
So you can use the cave in that rock pillar at the end of the beach. That's a dramatic cave if ever I saw one.
We ain't got a stabilized harness for it. The camera will wobble.
Did D.W. Griffiths have a stabilized harness when he made Birth of a Nation?
You're right, damn it. Hitchcock, Wells, none of them needed one. For crying out loud, Sam Raimi stabilized his camera on a plank. Props, get me a plank. We're gonna wing it. Hot dog. We're gonna do a cinema verite pirate movie. George, get to wardrobe. We're gonna make you a star.
On my way.
George has accidentally landed the strangest acting job of his life. It's one way to get closer to the cave, even if it wasn't part of the original plan.
Ready when you are, Mr. Hawks.
George has officially gone from accidental extra to undercover explorer.
It was the stone which Ketch had captured from the Spanish. The Eagle Stone.
I returned to Quaramonte and found that Georges had left a message with Conchita. He'd already left for the Indian village, so I hurried to catch up with him. When I arrived, I found a scene of desolation.
While George explores the cave, Nico follows the trail he unknowingly left behind. The abandoned village tells one story, George's sunglasses tells another.
These sunglasses are Georges. Georges, where are you?
The silence doesn't last long before a familiar little face appears.
Tezcatlipoca, I'm almost glad to see you.
Tezcatlipoca gives it his best intimidating stare. The lighter, though, has other plans.
You little asshole, what happened here? Are you responsible for this? And where's Georges? Have you seen him? He was pointing to the remains of a burned-out hut. It was too hot to pick up. The water could have cooled the stone if I could figure out a way of getting it into the barrel. Hey, Shorty, make yourself useful and help me with this barrel. Thanks. I recognize that. It's the Coyote Stone. What is it? Where are you pointing?
With Tezcatlipoca unexpectedly acting as a guide, Nico heads deeper into the ruins. The unlikely partnership continues towards the pyramid, which grows larger with every step, and so does the feeling that they are running out of time. It wouldn't be Broken Sword without guards, standing exactly where you need to go.
Hey, señorita!
Too late. I had been seen. Bonjour, Capitaine.
Only Sergeant, pretty one. What are you doing here?
Snuggles said I could come here with him.
Snuggles?
Oh, I mean the General. We're, friends. May I go up the pyramid?
We have strict instructions not to let anybody pass.
Oh, but I've told you who I am. Surely nobody would mind.
Well...
Oh, please, I'd be ever so grateful.
I tell you what, I'll ask Pablo if it's okay for you to go up.
If Pablo saw me, I'd be dead. No, it's not worth the bother. I'm not really that interested in their stupid pyramid anyway.
Well, okay. It's men's work up there anyway.
I'll just run along and play around here, okay?
Okay, you do that.
Nico's bluff is convincing enough, right up until the guard offers to check with Pablo himself. Sometimes, saving George means thinking like an engineer instead of an adventurer. With the guards distracted, Nico quietly starts sabotaging the machinery. If brute force won't get her inside, a little mechanical failure just might.
The engine looked like it was supposed to power the lift. It was a simple wooden platform lift, used for shifting equipment, I presumed. The scaffold gantry went all the way up the pyramid.
Nico finally has a plan. Now she just needs a very enthusiastic little helper to follow instructions.
Tezcatlipoca, I have an important job for you. Take this rope to the top of this scaffolding and throw it over the top.
Oh.
Tezcatlipoca tackles the job with surprising enthusiasm. Nico can only hope the rest of the plan will go this smoothly. Every hero needs a sidekick, and Tezcatlipoca seems more than happy to fill the role. One carefully placed rope later, the rescue plan is finally starting to come together. Nico puts her plan into motion, literally. If all goes well, it should save a lot of climbing.
The motor spluttered into life.
The lift works perfectly. Operating it alone, not so much.
Tezcatlipoca, when I tell you, I want you to copy what I am doing.
Copy.
Sometimes, do exactly as I do is the safest explanation.
Okay? Copy. Georges, I realized those bastards were going to sacrifice Georges to Tezcatlipoca over my dead body.
George's rescue has officially begun. He just has to avoid giving it away.
Thankfully, Georges was the only one to notice me.
Where are they? The eclipse is about to happen.
Patience. Your mother will be here soon and Karzak will be close behind. Just keep the Yankee covered and leave the worrying to others.
Yeah, Raoul.
The maniacs were going to sacrifice Georges.
Shut up, Stobbart. Just shut up.
Calm down. He's no threat.
Hey,
Raoul, why don't you do us both a favor and shoot Pablo?
You're very funny, Stobbart. I haven't forgotten Marseille. When Karzak cuts your heart out, I'll be the one laughing.
I'll bet I'm not the only one due for the chop around here either. Hey, Raoul?
I'm warning you.
Raoul was a bundle of raw nerves. I hoped Georges wouldn't push him too far.
Nico starts gathering everything she needs, while Tezcatlipoca's fearsome weapon finally proves useful for something. Sometimes the most ridiculous gadget ends up being exactly what the situation calls for.
Tezcatlipoca, do you still have that lighter gun you pulled on me so amusingly?
What's going on over there? Do you need help, my pretty?
Nothing's wrong. I dropped, a cigarette butt. Everything is under control. I'll have the fire out in a minute or two.
Safe to say, the ceremony is no longer going according to plan.
What's that? What's happening?
Trouble.
Give it up. The pyramid's surrounded.
I'll find out what the trouble is. Watch Stobbart doesn't pull any tricks. If he does, shoot him in the head, not through the heart.
Why does it matter? He'll be dead either way.
His heart belongs to Tezcatlipoca.
That's not true. We just had dinner a couple of times.
Nico's greatest weapon has never been brute force, and Pablo has no idea he's being held at finger point.
Drop the gun or I shoot!
Please, don't hurt me!
Don't worry yourself, my finger isn't loaded.
Nico, what are you doing here?
Firstly, I'm going to set Georges free, and then screw up Karzak's scheme.
No, I can't let you do that. Karzak has promised me power!
Raoul, wake up. The only thing Karzak has on offer is death. You may want to ask Oublier, except you can't. Karzak murdered him.
You're lying. Oubier's in Europe.
Sure, he's in Europe. In London, on a mortuary slab with 2 bullet holes in him.
But Karzak promised. When he frees Tezcatlipoca, we'll all be granted great power.
Listen to her, Raoul. Karzak's insane.
I don't know. I need to think.
You've let your mother do your thinking for you up to now. You need to think for yourself. Your mother and Karzak think alike. There's only one expendable member of the plan left, and that's you.
Mother would never betray me.
Oh, I'm tired of trying to reason with you, Raoul. Tezcatlipoca. Watch this man, and if he makes a move, shoot him with your gun.
With Pablo now occupied, Nico can focus on the reasons she came here. Getting George out alive.
Hold still, Georges. I don't want to sacrifice you by accident.
You have no idea how glad I am to see you.
They were going to cut your heart out. I think I can guess. We can save the happy reunions for later. We've got to move. Come on!
Nico reaches George, proving once again that if anyone's going to be saving the day, it's probably going to be her.
We're safe.
This is a dead end.
We're toast. I know, Tezcatlipoca. I'm not too happy here either.
He knows this is Tezcatlipoca's pyramid. The house of the enemy.
Well, we can't stay here like rats in a trap.
And we can't go out the way we came in. It would be suicide. I'll have a look round. Maybe there's another way out. In the meantime... Take this. It's the Coyote Stone. It might bring you luck, I hope.
You managed to recover the stones from the village? Then we might have a chance after all. Incidentally, what would Titipoco have done if Graciento had moved?
Titipoco? Nothing. He's given up violence. Oof, the lever was very difficult to move and appeared to do nothing anyway.
Looks like the builders of this pyramid did not believe in normal door handles.
Heave! Still no good.
Turns out both handles share the same terrible attitude.
Georges?
Yeah?
Georges, I can only pull one lever at a time, and I think we need to pull both together.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Even George can make this any worse. Probably. The ancient mechanism finally gives in, although neither of them planned on taking the express route downstairs. Ancient prophecies are one thing, explaining to your mother why the sacrifice escaped is another.
Raoul, there's something suspicious. This sacrifice! Where is it?
Nico was here with Titipoco. They set him free. I couldn't stop them.
You idiot! I should have strangled you at birth. Titipoco's gone soft. He wouldn't have hurt you.
I know that.
The darkness of this sun is almost upon us, and we have no sacrifice to appease Tezcatlipoca. Have you any idea what your incompetence will cost us?
I think so. And I'm glad.
What?
The Mayans weren't fools. Tezcatlipoca should stay exactly where they put him.
Finally got some backbone from somewhere, huh? Shame it's so late in the day.
I'd rather die than see you in Karzak with that devil's power.
Fine, we're still a sacrifice show. See, the eclipse begins. Pablo, kill him! Tezcatlipoca can feed upon his yellow heart.
Nico was right all along, but it's still not too late.
Come on then, Pablo. Let's see who sacrifices who.
What place is this? I was in some sort of strange room. Tiles and dials. The priests who designed this place must have known how to use them. I was going to have to figure it out for myself if I ever wanted to get out of here.
Here's a little secret the game never tells you. Instead of wrestling with the infamous tile puzzle, we can trigger an Easter egg that skips the whole thing. After everything George and Nico survived, I think they've earned a shortcut.
A wiggle. Et voilà!
Shortcut has been accepted. Time to see what the pyramid has been hiding.
So I thought, this is it, you know? This is true love. Anyway, I have to leave for a few weeks, and when I come back, what do I find? Damn right. And with who? Labano, that creep.
Huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Tepitoco probably has no idea who Andre is, but he's getting the full relationship update anyways. George has faced murders, cults, and collapsing ruins, yet somehow Andre remains the thing bothering him the most.
Oh, heck. Looks like another dead-end Titipoco. Any ideas?
Tepitoco decides only to contribute moral support.
I was hoping for something a little more constructive. Never mind, I'll have a look around. Look, I need to light this torch. Can you do something clever with a couple of sticks, or flint and tinder, or...
Even after centuries underground, a single torch is enough to change everything.
Or a cheesy novelty cigarette lighter, as it turned out.
Tezcatlipoca also happens to know exactly how to light it without banging rocks together.
Well, there was nothing else to do around here, so I pulled the lever. Nothing's happened. Oh, I hate that. Don't you hate that? Tezcatlipoca? Oh my...
Getting lost inside an ancient pyramid was probably not part of the plan.
Great. I had no idea where I was, no idea where the others had got to, and time was running out to stop Karzak. Still, I wasn't dead yet, so it wasn't all bad news.
The builders clearly expected visitors to carry their own light source. Luckily, George has just found one. It transforms the room from pitch black to merely unsettling. At least now we can see what we're walking into. Ancient puzzles always become much easier once you can see them. Who would have thought? Hopefully this opens a door and not another trap.
A stone slab that must have weighed tons sealed the door. Charming.
This puzzle is less about opening doors and more about choosing which ones stay open. The pyramid continues playing its favorite game, closing and opening doorways. George keeps following the only clue he has, whichever door opens next.
Every time I think this place can't get any spookier, it does.
After enough experimenting, the final mechanism falls into place and reveals exactly what we've been searching for.
Yes! Finally! I'm out of here.
It turns out that every switch inside the pyramid has been part of a giant puzzle.
Once more into the unknown.
George heads deeper beneath the pyramid, following a passage once again clearly not meant for ordinary visitors. Hidden staircases in ancient temples rarely lead anywhere pleasant, but at this point, there's no turning back.
Cool. Onwards and downwards, Mr. Stobbart.
The deeper George goes, the quieter the pyramid becomes. Another staircase, another layer of ancient secrets.
This was it. The pyramid's central chamber. Its dark heart. Once before in my life, I'd stood in front of a door and thought, this is it. If I go through there, I'm going to die. I'd been wrong then. I hoped I was wrong now. This was the door that led to the central chamber and the smoking mirror.
It's hard to believe, but inside the next room is where this adventure will reach its conclusion. From Paris to the jungles of Quaramonte and deep beneath the Smoking Mirror Pyramid. It's been an incredible adventure. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you again in the next game.